Right, so I was just getting the audience up to date where we posted questions out on our Instagram stories and Facebook. We were inundated with questions, so we've only had to select a few for now.
Right.
Should we just dive straight in? And obviously, as we're on this live, please keep your questions coming in and I'll choose. Okay.
And we've got about half an hour, I think, Em. We're off at 11:30, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got half an hour, so get your questions in quick.
That's
I'm
it.
going to say. Right, so the first question from Deanna.908 is, my dogs have become sedentary during lockdown. How can we cheer them up?
Oh, okay, that's a good one. Well, Deanna or Dina, I think the first thing to recognise is actually sedentary is not always a bad thing, you know. And I think in our country we're kind of conditioned to think that actually we've got to be revving them up all the time. We've got to keep them entertained. And I think now more than any other time, because we sort of feel that we're at home with them. We've got to stop them being bored. So if they're sedentary, is kind of one thing. I think a bit bored and depressed is another. So if they just calm down, I would say just don't worry about it. It's fine. If you're working for a bit and they're calm, then you kind of be thankful for that, really, and sort of praise them for being calm. It's worth remembering that a happy dog will sleep all night and he'll sleep all day as well, most of the day as well, apart from walks and feeding and all the rest of it. That's what dogs do, unlike us. We fidget all day long, right?
Well, I wish I could sleep all day.
I think it's okay. If you're particularly worried about them and they're getting a bit fed up, if you're able to get out, then do safely, obviously following the guidelines, keep your distance and all those good things. But the other thing is that you can do a play little games around the house, and we maybe talk a bit about that later.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, that's good to know because Lemmy, my dog, she's been sleeping quite a bit recently as well.
Right.
But we'll come on to Lemmy in a bit because I've got my own sneaky little question for you.
All right.
So next question from Wolfie Baby, interesting. Coda. I'm spending more time at home now. How can we transition our puppy for normality?
Great question. So I wonder how old this puppy is. So there's the thing. Puppy socialisation is taking a hit right now. There's no way around that. We can't get out in the way that we would normally. You can't be going to puppy classes and all those kind of things. So what you can do is, there are things that are normal that are still happening. So for example, the postman still comes, right? Or the post lady, they knock on the door, you know? So normal would be, they come, you go, it's the post person. It's not a big deal. So you're starting to get them used to normal again, if you like. If you're lucky enough to be in a house that's got a window onto a street, for example, you can sit by the window and watch things go by. And again, that demeanour needs to be very much, oh look, it's a normal day in the street, all's well with the world. Remember, if they're a little puppy, that they don't know this is weird. We do. We've never experienced anything like this. But if you're a new puppy, it's like, oh, okay, this is what the world's like then. So it's going to get a lot busier, of course. So you could perhaps play soundtracks. You can download all sorts of soundtracks of normal life, you know, traffic, busy crowds, babies crying, you name it, right? All of those things. So you could be doing that right now to get them used to the time when it's going to get busier. But here's a top tip for that. Don't start with those kind of soundtracks on full volume because you might scare the life out of them. Just start really, really low. You can do that, for example, while they're eating. So they've got this pleasurable association with those sounds. We call it counter conditioning, actually. And then they start to get used to those sounds getting louder and louder and louder. And in the end, it's just like, it's just normal, that. So there you go.
That's genius. I'd never thought about having a soundtrack and playing sounds at all.
There you go. Simple things that work, you know. I love it.
Only during fireworks time we'd play, we'd started to play fireworks for Lemmy, but that's a brilliant idea. Really good.
It's the same principle, yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Next question from Bertie the Maltese. Hello, Bertie.
Hello, Bertie.
I wonder if Bertie's typed this with his own paws. How do I get a 6-month-old Maltese pup to walk on a lead? He seems to hate walks. So how can we do that inside?
Okay, interesting. So First things first, yeah, he's probably going to do a better job of typing than I do because his paws are smaller than mine. I'm writing a book at the minute and I am not the best person in the world at typing.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
That's my phone. There we go. I told you to go wrong. I'm not used to dropping the phone. So, how do you get him to walk? So, it sounds like he's a bit reluctant, right? So, we need to give him a reason to walk. So you could just be sort of tugging away on the lead. You've seen me do 1 or 2 things like that on the telly perhaps, but with a little puppy, 6 months old, I don't think that's the right thing. So what you want to do is put a lead on him and have it loose in the house when he's about to walk forwards anyway. So here's the thing. Maybe you put his food down over there, the lead's on, he walks towards his food, and he's beginning to walk with the lead on, kind of by hook or by crook, if you see what I mean. So we're creating the right behaviour without forcing him to do anything. And while he's moving towards the food, and he's on lead with you, and you're walking with him, you're going, oh, good boy, that's right. So we're now building up this habit that we want for the future. No coercion, nothing nasty, nice and easy. Good start for a puppy, that.
Brilliant. Okay, top tip. Jinko the Bordeaux dog.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to entertain our dog at home? Now, this is a question we were inundated with.
Yeah. Good. This is Bordeaux dog as in south of France, as in Dogue de Bordeaux, probably.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
Big dog.
Big dog. So I hope you live in a big house. Otherwise, well, here's the thing. If you've got a big dog or any dog that's inclined to get a bit excitable, which can be 2 separate things, you don't want your dog running around like Looney, doing the wall of death around the living room right now, right? So you want games that make them think, not games that rev them up, okay? So if you go on the internet, have a little search for dog puzzles, or dog, games for dogs and that kind of thing. What you're looking for, and there's no particular one that I would recommend. There's lots of good ones out there, but something where they have to perhaps move a slot or slide something round or take something out of the way in order to get a little treat underneath. And a clever dog will work it out quite quickly, but it's keeping them doing this. The effect of mental exercise almost outweighs physical exercise. Now, obviously, I'm not saying in normal circumstances that your dog doesn't need exercise. Of course they do, but right now we're all a bit limited. And that keeping the old mind ticking over can create quite a calm dog. You know that effect when you've had a really hard day at the office? Yeah?
No, don't know that.
No, she says that's all. It's always a piece of cake at PetsPyjamas.
Yeah.
So when you've had one of those days, you get home and you think, I haven't been anywhere, I haven't done anything physical, but I am absolutely
mentally drained, yeah.
Yeah, great. So that's what you want for your dog. So have a little Google search for, and other search engines are available, for dog puzzles. But you can also make your own. We might come back to that. So
okay.
I'm conscious of time, and we've got lots of questions, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Jackie Hay1 asks, why is my dog extra snappy at the moment? A dog's picking up on what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Could be a couple of reasons that. So could be used to getting more exercise than they're currently getting, so they're getting a bit of cabin fever like the rest of us. Mm-hmm. Your dog wouldn't be the only one who's getting a bit snappy from time to time. I think there's lots of couples who are confined together who are perhaps getting more snappy than normal. Yeah. So it could be that. Or it could be the... now here's the thing. So if you're a bit stressed or anxious right now, which wouldn't be unusual, would it? There's an awful lot of unsure things going on in the world. Then dogs pick up on that. And there's lots of mechanisms for it. But one of the most common ones is that dogs pick up on your facial expressions. So there's a study done years ago where they used video tracking technology with dogs to see where they were looking on the screen. And then they put up actors who were doing happy and sad and all those kind of things. And they were able to judge the dog's reaction. And they worked out that dogs are really good at looking at your face and going, you're not happy, So if you're getting a bit stressed out and you show it, the dog picks up on it. They then start to act weird. Now, here's the thing. You then start to get stressed out even more because your dog's stressed out and you've got one of those vicious circles going on. It gets worse and worse. So the thing to get around that is it's no good me just saying, look, just don't be stressed, don't be worried, it's going to be fine. That would be silly. But we can all just kind of bluff it a bit. So do the best that you can in the way that you would sometimes with an anxious child. So it's fine, it's okay, everything's all right, and do your best to, it's that keep calm and carry on thing, isn't it? Yeah. So I think do that, and you should see things improving. So I've sort of answered the question why. I've also thrown in a little bit of how to turn it around.
Brilliant. Bonus. Okay. Murray Scaife photo. How do I stop my Labradoodle from constantly eating mud and sticks? Now, I'd like to know this as well.
Well, the way to stop anything that's got Labrador in them eating things that they shouldn't is get a Spaniel. It's a real Labrador thing, and it will. And in the case of Labradoodle, it will be probably from the Labrador side, not from the Poodle side.
Yeah.
An interesting thing about Labradors is some of them are missing a gene that switches off the "I'm hungry" feeling. Right, so when you have a big meal, you get to the point where you go, I couldn't eat another thing, because your brain's got signals going on that go, no, I'm full, I really couldn't. Some Labradors just are constantly hungry. It doesn't matter how much you feed them, so that probably explains something. So I think from memory, I think it was about 24% Labradors. You'd have to check that, I'm not sure. But so what's happening is your dog's going out, going, right, that's quite good, I'll have a chew of that, that's very nice, mud, excellent, lovely. Can't beat a bit of mud, it's delicious apparently. You've got to be there is the answer to it. If you let them out in the back garden and they're just doing it, it's kind of self-rewarding, believe it or not, it feels quite good. So what happens is they discover that they can eat mud and chew sticks and it feels good. Like us, they're just going to go, well, I like it, I'll do it again, unless somebody stops me. So go out there with them. If need be, keep them on a longish lead or even a long line, really long one. You need to teach them right from wrong. So you're going around the garden and going, yeah, good, fine, that's all good. And then as soon as they go for a twig or a bit of mud, it's like, no, the right tone of voice. It's that, not shouty or angry, just that, no, that's enough sort of attitude. Yeah. If need be, get between them and the little patch of mud they were after. Plants is another one. We're coming to that time of year anywhere. New plants are sprouting everywhere. Yeah. And again, particularly with younger dogs, if they've not seen spring before, or they've only seen one, it's like a kid in a sweet shop. Unfortunately, some of those plants are poisonous to dogs. Yeah. So you've got to be really careful. So stand in between them and the plant if necessary. The thing to notice is, as soon as they back off, all right, we'll keep your hair on sort of attitude. When they back off, we go, oh, good, great. And then do it again and again. Because doing it once will never fix anything. You've just got to keep repeating things. Yeah, so that's the answer to that.
Positive reinforcement. And what we'll do on the PetsPyjamas blog, we'll put a list of poisonous plants up as well across all seasons. So people can go and visit that. Right, next question. Wheezy Woozy. How will we all deal? And this is a great question. How will we all deal with separation anxiety once lockdown is all over?
Oh, that is a great question. I thought about this quite a little while ago. I put a little note in my notebook to write a blog about separation anxiety, because it is going to hit us, when we all go back to work again. It might be gradual, and who knows, it may well be that life is never quite the same again, and we probably all will, I guess, work more from home. We're set up now, aren't we? But you could start now. So I'm going to answer that question in two ways. One is, how you deal with it when it hits you, right? But the clever way to think of it is like, what can we be doing right now to prevent it, to make it better? Before it hits us. Well, the answer to that is right now, your dog's at the side, perhaps they're with you all the time, and they're working with you, they're referred to as co-workers. We need to give them a bit of downtime. So I would, from time to time, perhaps have them in the kitchen or another room, give them a bit of space. If they come up to you and they're always pestering, don't always accede to their demands, right? You end up creating a kind of spoiled dog effect. So if you've got a dog that comes in and goes, yeah, push me now. Yeah, all right, yeah, I know, yeah. Here, again, throw this ball for me. Yeah. Come on, let me out to the loo. All right, let me in, it's cold, for goodness sake. Fuss me now. Toy, fuss. food, drink. Oh, for goodness sake.
Sounds familiar.
Does that sound familiar? You're on a road to ruin, you are. So what happens then is they get really, really attached to you. So you can imagine, you go through that for weeks and weeks and weeks. You get to the end of it, and suddenly you're not there because you went to work. How dare you, right? And it's the end of the world, you know. So don't be like that right now, you know. Obviously, give your dog a bit of fuss. Do play with them. Of course, you're going to feed them. Do it more on your terms, you know. And you want to create times where you go, look, I'm working now. I need to settle down, right? Which is why, you know, the very first question was, my dog's a bit too sedentary. You know, or that the dog becomes sedentary. It's not a bad thing, right? If the dog wants to simmer down while you're doing a bit of work, great, you know. If they're in another room, even better right now, because you can see what we're trying to avoid in the future. Right, when we get out of this, I guess it might be quite gradual. They're sending the signals that it's not going to be like it's the end of the war, you know. So I think it's going to be in stages. And in stages is how you should do it with your dog if you can. So let's say you find out on a Thursday or a Friday that you're going to be going back to work on Monday, right? You've got a couple of days. During that time, I'd be going out, coming back, going out, coming back in little bits of time, you know? Because it could well be that for weeks, when you've done your daily exercise, you've taken your dog, right? Your dog might not have seen you go on your own. So go for a minute, come back. You know, a minute, come back, a couple of minutes, come back. Make it random as well. So it could be 1 minute, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 7 minutes, 1 minute. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Your dog starts to go, okay, I get it. So you go and you come back. It's not a big deal, right? And while you're doing that, again, your demeanour is key. If you look really anxious when you're leaving the door, imagine this. Imagine you're my dog now, and I'm the dog. Oh, I hope you're going to be all right. It's okay. Daddy's going to be back soon. It's going to be fine. You're starting to go, hang on a minute. You look nervous. You're nervous. I'm nervous. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
So it very much needs to be, right, say, I'll be back in a minute, gone. Yeah. You know, very matter of fact. And that's your best chance, I think, when it happens. That's how to transition.
Brilliant. Okay. We are quite lucky that PetsPyjamas in the office, we do take our dogs in, but you know, not all companies do that and, you know, have that luxury. So yeah, no, we'll definitely start going out without Lemmy. So that's really good. That's very handy. Thank you. We have UK 1985. My dog started to dislike other male dogs, even though he's neutered.
Right. Okay. Actually, right now is probably quite a good time to practice this, because what you want to do is have your dog on lead at a distance from other male dogs. So we've got to get him used to, there are other male dogs, and basically, I don't care what the other boy did, you're not allowed sort of attitude, yeah? So right now, people really shouldn't be allowing their dog to run up to other dogs, right? There is quite a bit of evidence that dogs probably can't catch COVID-19, but they can carry it in their fur. So let's say somebody who's shedding the virus is with your dog, or you are indeed, and you don't know it yet, and you walk out with the dog. Somebody who's a dog lover walks up to the dog, does the most natural thing in the world, strokes the dog, they've got it on their hands, they walk away, touch their face, bingo, right? So you shouldn't be stroking dogs that come up to you, which is so hard. I was out for a walk yesterday, 2 dogs came up to me and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't right now. So don't let your dogs run up to people. If that means that you've got to keep your dog on a lead because your recall's not perfect, then do that if you have to. Yeah. If you've got really good recall and you're in a place that's quite wide open, then I think it's horses for courses. You don't necessarily need them on the lead. Yeah. So if everybody follows that advice, if you've got a dog that's nervous with other dogs or aggressive for whatever reason, dogs, you can practice at a safe distance because they're not going to run up to you anymore. So, and what you do is you walk along, keep moving. If you stop and another dog does come towards you and yours is aggressive to other dogs, it just gets worse and worse, really. If they're acting like that because they're nervous, they're like a sitting duck then. They're attached to this great big human on the lead. They can't move anywhere because you're doing this. Yeah, thanks, you can go past now, and it doesn't actually help. So you get what I call the pressure cooker effect, where the dog just sort of goes, then maybe they're trying to hold it in, and then bang, you know? Yeah. So keep moving. If they don't react, praise that. You know, if they've had a little grumble and they come back down from it, it's the coming back down moment that you want to praise. Yeah. And if they do react, it's okay to tell them off, but again, without that shouting and screaming stuff, because you'll end up fueling the fire. The last thing you want is a dog who's barking and an owner that's in effect barking along with them. So you don't want to do that. Okay?
Right. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Natalie E. P91. My 4-month-old puppy has started barking at me for play when I'm eating.
Ah, right. So there's a classic bit of attention seeking, if ever there was some stuff. Right. What do you do with that? Well, the obvious answer to that is don't pay attention. So you're going to have to ride the storm, I'm afraid. So what it is that, you know, the dog's barking. I suspect they're barking because they've probably had a treat from you at some point, but it might not be, or it might be somebody else has done that for you. Grandparents of dogs are very good at that.
Yeah.
So don't accede to their demands, right? So what you've got to do is ignore it. Now, let me tell you, if you ignore it, it is going to get worse before it gets better, almost certainly. Any dog worth their salt is going to bark a bit more, or paw you, or do the next thing. And what they often do is they go through a list of sort of like how to get attention, right? So it's like Fido's list. So number 1, bark, that's not working. Right, poem, it's not working. Go get a toy and offer them that. No, that's not working. Right. And go back to number 1 again. And so they'll do that. So we're inclined to see them go to number 2 and number 3 and go, this isn't working. It's like, oh, you know, and then we crack. You know, it's like, oh, for goodness sake, come in. All right, I'll throw the toy for you. And the dog goes, aha, aha. This attention seeking works. So if you want to Google it, the psychology of ignoring things and letting them fade away is called behaviour extinction. Now, I won't go into the detail because I'll bore you to tears, but it often gets worse before it gets better. If it does fade away because you're really good at ignoring it, right, then sometimes it comes back as a blip, and that's called an extinction burst. If you get that, so you've been doing it for a week until you think it's really great, and then one day your dog's as bad as ever at barking when you're eating, that's the moment when most people crack. Because it's like, oh, for goodness sake, what do you want? And the dog goes, ah, I got what I want. I've got your attention. So if you get one of those blips, that's where it usually goes wrong. Make sure that when it blips up, you kind of just ignore it and come back down again. Because otherwise, what happens on the graph is you get one of these blips, you then crack, and the graph carries on. Okay. So that's a little bit about how to deal with attention seeking. So the golden rule with ignoring it, if you're going to ignore it, if it's something that you can ignore, because not all things are yours, if you can ignore it completely, absolutely. If you crack, you're back to square one.
Okay, brilliant. Very handy. We got time for one more question. Yeah?
I reckon.
Okay, brilliant. So, person called Amy. Wonder who that person is.
That'll be you.
It might be.
Yeah, well, you're running the podcast, you might as well.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? The perks.
Yeah.
So Lemmy, Staffordshire Bull Terrier, she's coming up to 2 years old later on this month. Right. She's had a very set routine since she was a puppy. She's gone into work with us every single day. Obviously, this whole change in routine, I feel, could potentially be affecting her behaviour. She's very well trained, but recently she's become very cheeky and bordering on a little bit naughty. She's pushing the boundaries. Yeah. Is what's happening affecting her, do you think?
Could well be. So from everything you've just said there, I mean, I think this is something that's going to help a lot of people, actually. You've got a big change of routine there because she was going to work with you all the time. And of course, that will be the case for a lot of dogs. So she'll be used to seeing lots of people around and all that kind of thing. So yes, it can. Routines are really interesting. They can be really helpful, like the bedtime routine springs to mind. You know, we all tend to have one. You know, the telly goes off or whatever it is. You do your thing. The dog goes, oh, okay then, and they take themselves off to bed. So routines can be useful, but they can be a rod for our own back. So the answer to the first part of your question is, yeah, it does sound likely that she's changing her behaviour because your routine's changed. Now, here's the thing. Dogs are brilliant at adapting in a way that humans just aren't. You know, dogs get rehomed, and within a couple of weeks, they're like they've always been there. You know, so the best thing you can do is business as usual in your attitude. It's like, yeah, this is the new normal. Get over yourself. It's fine. The worst thing you can do is if you see her acting differently and your kind of heart goes out to her for whatever reason, is that you kind of pander to that a bit too much. You know, I realise that probably sounds a bit cruel, but the best way you can help her is to act as though, yeah, it's fine. This is what we do now. It's just as surely as if you'd moved house. You know, a lot of behavioural problems start when there is a change of routine, and that could be something even more drastic than this, like you know, somebody's partner dies, for example. You know, or there's a big change in a family. So dogs get over it quite well if we let them. So it is that. I know it's one heck of a cliche, but it is that keep calm and carry on.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, definitely. Amazing. Well, we've reached the end of our time, sadly.
We have,
and that flew by,
didn't it? Just.
It really did, and we haven't even gotten to the other questions asked by the audience live either. So maybe we come back and do another one at some point with these questions.
Maybe. I've got a couple of plans up my sleeve for a couple of things a bit like this, and I might be doing the odd one on the telly as well, you know, down the line like this. By which time I'll probably better sort out the lighting and everything. So yeah, tell you what, the TV presenters go, I make better one of them than I do a camera person, that's for sure. I've just realised if I get a bit nearer to the window, look, I'm lighter now, you can actually see me. There we go. So jobs are good. Listen, it's been a pleasure. I'm sorry everybody didn't get to answer everybody's question. We've got so many people online, and thank you for all your comments. But yeah, keep watching, and I'm sure we'll be able to do something in the future. So keep yourselves safe, follow the guidelines, and enjoy your dogs.
Amazing. And Dogs Behaving Very Badly is available online to stream anyway.
It is. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Graeme, for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you want to find the programme, if you haven't seen it, it's on My Five. That's the place to look for it. So. Perfect. Good.
I'll be binge watching this weekend, put it that way.
Right.
All right.
All the best.
Keep
Bye-bye.
safe. Bye. Bye.